I also cut 3 1.5 by 3.5 inch strips. This is what we're going to use to find our seam allowance, okay? What we're going to do first is we are going to check our seam allowance. We have a couple of things. In fact, I have a line on my sewing machine that has 1/4 inch on it, okay? And when I use it, it's not 1/4 of an inch. Mom uses it and it's really big. A couple of factors happen with that is when you are stitching and then you flip, this stitching line, if you're going by here, whatever you have, it's not taking into account the weight of your cotton, the weight of your thread. So whatever you have might be off. So it's always helpful just to verify, especially if it's like a new to you machine. It's very good to verify what your stitch length actually is. A lot of patterns call for a scant 1/4 inch. Quilt patterns call for a scant 1/4 inch. And that is actually taking into the fact your rollover, your fold over, and how much fabric is taken into that. So it is helpful that once you find your place, that you mark it with tape. Okay, let me get my foot over. And we're just going to do as is. Would help if I turn it on instead of off. Let's raise the foot. Okay, so I've not moved my needle, and I am sitting it right on that line that says 1/4 of an inch. Now remember, we press first, lift, and I'm going to press this side and lift. And we're just going to fold, finger fold it over first. And it's very small, so watch your fingers. And then finger fold this one. All right, now the ruler that I had, I'm going to bring this back because this is the mat I had cut the others on. It's pretty good to kind of keep your same mat and your same ruler if you can. Sometimes you can't. But that's why people have all sorts of rulers. So I am going from I can barely see the tip of the thread on this side. And on this side, I am past my 3.5 inch mark. Let me see if I can bring this up for you to see. I can't tell if you can see that. I'm going to have to see on the replay. But on the pink, it is past that line. So this was a slightly smaller. So it's good because what I can do, it wasn't too much beyond the line. So that I would actually, let's bring this back, press these down again. And now I'm just pressing them kind of this way, so I could. So if I had to take it out, I'm going to take a chance and turn my light over so that I am wrong sides together instead of right sides together. What I need to do is it's just like a hair off. So instead of being on the line, I'm going to go in front of the line, okay? I've definitely gotten something. My allergy medicine is not keeping up. So let's now do the pink on this. And I'm going to flip that around. So I'm not on that same. A little bit again. Because there are some things that you can, make a trim. But then you're going to come into things with templates that are going to be very difficult to trim. And knowing how to get your exact 1/4 of an inch is very nice. That's one side. This is the second side. Finger press. I'm just running the heel along, just along. I'm not pressing it or turning it. I'm running the heel along. That way remember that other side has been stitched and I want it to lay flat. Okay. A little hot. Don't want it to be too hot when I put it on the mat. Hot stuff will warp your mat, so kind of be careful. Okay, it's cool enough. All right. Now let's do it the first way. That's even further over. Oh, I did it the wrong way. I needed to go over the mat. All right, let's see if I can get it this time. So I was making I made it smaller. I need to make it larger. Let's try this again. It's on the line. Let's go past the line. Just slightly. Make sure it's lined up on the fabric. And I am letting it stitch 3 or 4 stitches beyond that because that will tighten the stitch, because when you cut it, it will, the last couple of ones will untie, and that will let your seam open up if you're not careful. Pretty much all of this has been pressed open, so it's not like they don't know what they're doing anymore. All right. Let's see what that did. Okay, I am barely on. Okay, and that is way too short. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. The reason I'm doing 3 across is because I can kind of see which side was wrong. This side is right on the 1 1/4 between the blue and the white. It is right on the money. This one is a little short. So between these two, that's the wrong seam. And if I look at the two, oh yeah, one, it's not consistent top to bottom. Let's see that again. It's a little bigger on this side than it is down there. Now, let's take out that. And if I recall, that's the first one I did. Then I flipped it over. This round. Usually it's a second, but I think I did it backwards this time. And I need to take my, I have a set of round hasps, and I need to kind of sharpen my blade. That will make those last a whole lot longer because they're not cheap anymore. Even the cheap ones aren't cheap anymore. Okay. That's what it is. So I've got that, I've got that. Got that, and got that. Okay. Oh, there it goes. That is so much better. I don't see any purple peeking up under the line, and the white is even at a 1 inch. So that is perfect. Now, you could use this as one of your squares because it is 3.5 inches if you wanted to, but we're not. Now, one of the things they also have is a ruler with holes in it. They're needle holes. And I'm using the back side, not the front side, the back side. Just to do that. And you want a couple of layers, okay? But if you had that ruler with the holes, I would set the pressure foot down on it and let it be your guide. Right now, I'm kind of winging it. Not exactly the best, but I try to put at least 3 layers, if not more. Now you're going, well, I got to be able to get out my bobbin. Yes, yes you do. But first, let's get this set. So the more layers you put here, the more of a ridge you're going to have. All right, that should be my last one. Then what that does is it gives you a ridge to sew by. Okay. Now, if you did, other sewing, like for clothes or something like that, not exactly as advisable. What you could do instead would be Post-it notes, because you can easily take those up. I'm using a painter's tape that will not leave a gummy residue. Okay, if it does, then I can get some rubbing alcohol and rub it away. Now, to be able to get to your bobbin, you just kind of press. Now, if you had an X-Acto knife, that would probably be better, or a razor blade, a lone one. Okay, so I've got to really just go by the indention I've got here and to cut through my layers. Okay. And just keep at it because you'll eventually get all your layers off, okay? Go through all the layers because you really don't care what happens to the back here. You just need to make sure you've got this line up front. And sorry, I cannot bring it closer. And if I move my thing, it's going to take forever to get it set up. Almost there. Okay. And your test is to, now if yours has like mine, a little lever that you kind of push back, you do want to make sure you free that as well. There we go. Don't want to stab myself. So that's where you get the, once you open it up, scissors and cut that bit back. There we go. Then press that, pull on that. And the first time or two, you will have to kind of pull it out because you might not have cut through your thing all the way. Yeah. Get it set. And go back through and puff it. All right. Now, we have our seam. It is now time to work on the squares.